Referee Kerry Hadley, Big John, you and I have been talking about this fight all week. A major matchup at middleweight with top 10 ranked fighters about to do battle. The bell in round number 1, undefeated Vanderford in the red gloves, while Edwards is in the blue gloves, fighting out of the southpaw stance.
Very nice to see Vanderford taking the center of the cage, coming at him. When you're looking at these guys, Vanderford is super athletic. He's like a Ram TRX truck, but Fabian Edwards is a Lamborghini. He is fast and he can move.
Yeah, but if you don't start the engine, the car doesn't move forward, and we are seeing Fabian Edwards a little more aggressive, but you know what? Just like Lamborghinis will be in 2024, John, once he gets going, he's electric, but right now, he's going down courtesy of Austin Vanderford.
Vanderford is absolutely beautiful with his level change, getting into Edwards, bringing him down. Edwards said he wanted to be in a fight with an American wrestler. Well, here you are. Let's see what you do with it.
And he said, leading to this fight, no one's ever just tried to get up after being taken down by Vanderford. Oh, really? Here's an opportunity.
And he had his feet in location, and you saw Austin Vanderford take that away. Look at how he laced the legs, brought him away.
Off balance, fans, yeah? Still off balance. There you go. There you go. Just
Vanderford now fighting out of American Top Team in Coconut Creek. He and his wife making the move from the picturesque Pacific Northwest, where worked with Fabiano Scherner, former head coach in Portland. Still wants to credit him as a man who has been instrumental in his career. Also worked with Chael Sonnen in Portland, but now at ATT with an embarrassment of riches.
Oh, I'll tell you what, you take a look at who he's training with right now. Everybody he's training with, you're looking at Amosov, Dalton Rasta. I mean, everybody that's there, Johnny Eblin, they're all undefeated. So those guys are in a grouping where now it's like, well, who's going to lose first? Not me.
Remember my snafu when I said this is welterweights? Well, Yaroslav Amosov will be challenging Douglas Lima for the welterweight title. I'm assured that. Bellator 260, Friday, June 11th, and the fans will be back in the fight sphere as we have Edwards back on his feet and hunting down Vanderford.
Very athletic move by Fabian Edwards to get himself up. He felt that shift of weight. He realized I can move, and he gets himself right back to his feet and lands a beautiful straight left hand down the pipe.
Revving up that engine.
It's a Lamborghini, baby.
Midway through the first frame, and Edwards from the southpaw stance, front kick. And when you look back at that fight with Costello Van Steenis, razor-thin decision, John, in favor of Van Steenis, knocking Edwards from the ranks of the unbeaten.
You know, it did, but you go back and you watch that fight, and one of the problems for Fabian Edwards, he starts so slow. He's kind of feeling his opponent out, and Van Steenis kind of just sneaked that round away. The second round, Van Steenis did a beautiful job. He won the round, but it was the way that Edwards came back in the third round and what he did in that third round that tells you everything you need to know about him as a fighter. He is a real fighter, and he is coming to knock your block off in the third round, the second round, the first round down. He's starting much faster in this fight than he has in his previous ones.
From Van Steenis to Vanderford, a minute and a half left here in the opening round. Straight left hand finds the mark for Edwards, and utilizing good footwork to escape Vanderford, who is trying to find a range and does land that body kick nicely.
That was a beautifully placed, hard kick to the body. But the one thing, if you're Fabian Edwards, don't worry about hitting hard. Just do exactly all this touching. Keep him at length. Use that reach that we talked about, 79.5-inch reach. Just keep touching.
Edwards representing Team Renegade. And there's a level change by Vanderford, well defended by Edwards.
Well defended, but he was able to drive him back, and he's got his hands closed around the legs. We'll see if Vanderford can do a better job of keeping Fabian on the ground, because Fabian was able to get himself back up when you saw Austin overextend in that body position.
Find the wrist straight away. There you go, there you go. No elbows, no elbows. There you go.
Vanderford telling us that he felt his style and his pressure would be too much for Fabian Edwards, and here in the final 15 seconds, putting the pressure on Edwards in the seated position along the fence, trying to improve his position, scooping out Edwards' legs as we come to the end of round one. And wow, can't wait to be back in the Punch Bowl. Carson, California, a breeding ground for incredible boxing battles. And Saturday, May 29, Showtime Championship Boxing presented by Premier Boxing Champions tees up another one. Former 4-division champion, future Hall of Famer Nonito Donaire challenges undefeated titleist Nordine Oubaali. That's coming your way Saturday, May 29th, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Showtime.
Be ready for it, okay?
It's very good kick. I need more the movement head.
Okay, yes, sir.
Press is fake. Hands up every time. Believe your kicks.
Okay.
24, because after 24, 26 paces.
On the ground, put the head in here and you push him so you can flat him out. Yes, sir. Okay? Yep. Lock his knees so you can close the knees together, yes, okay?
For me, hustle up for me. All right, here we go. Round two, men. Round two. Ready? Let's go to work.
The bell in round number 2. Talk about adjustments you would like to see each athlete make here in the second stanza. Inside low kick lands for Edwards.
It landed a little bit high of the low.
I'm right here. See, it looked like, wow, to me it looked like end time, but it's again another shot to the peninsula south of the equator. Well, while we have a moment, John, talk about adjustments, other than the adjustment to the cup.
There's a replay, and you see, oh yeah, it came straight up. That shot landed a lot. It's getting going faster than I would have. But yeah, absolutely, what you're saying, what they need to do, Vanderford needs to slow himself down in the stand-up, but time what Fabian Edwards is doing with that left hand. You see him every time he's starting to just cock that left leg, looking to shoot that left hand.
Beautiful smashing elbow strike to the face by Edwards.
That's what you need to do, is time those so you can get on your takedown.
And good sprawl, good takedown defense by Fabian Edwards here in the second round, looking to take away a major weapon from Austin Vanderford.
Absolutely. If Austin Vanderford cannot get the takedown, guess who has the big advantage here? Fabian Edwards needs to do exactly what we were talking about before. Keep him at length and just keep touching him. Shoot that straight left every time he makes a step inside. Hit him with the kicks. Don't worry about knocking him out with anything. If you touch him enough, he will go out.
Leg switched on as well, yeah? Little movements, little movements. That's it. Use your neck. Lovely. The left one. Lovely work, man, yeah? Don't hold hands.
Front kick by the southpaw, another kick by Fabian Edwards, whose confidence appears to be building with each and every second that ticks off the clock here in the second round. Straight left hand finds its target.
Fabian has done an outstanding job of it. Even when he's been taken down, he's made Austin work hard at keeping him down. He's gotten himself back to his feet, and he's landed his strikes. That's smart right there. He sees his back against the cage. Let me get off the cage. Austin's going to get this. I would have liked to see Austin been smarter. You have him up in the air, bring him towards the center of that ring. That way he can't use the cage wall now to get himself back to his feet.
Vanderford started wrestling at the age of 5, two-time Alaskan state wrestling champion, wrestled for Southern Oregon University. For 4 years, was an NAIA National Wrestling Champion. And using his wrestling background to try to get back into this fight.
Austin just lost that leg. That was a big slip when he lost that right leg. It's going to make it a lot harder for him to keep him. That's why you see him with that wrist control on that right arm, trying to keep that from being able to use as the post to get him back up.
Some blood on the nose of Austin Vanderford. I don't know if that's the source, though. Final 2 minutes of the second round, and Edwards trying to get back to his feet while Vanderford looks to take Edwards back.
That was a nice job of Vanderford to come around that back.
Hook the leg. Get him off balance.
Turn into the cage if you want. One leg.
Just like we saw before. You have all that pressure, bounce him off the cage.
North-south position there momentarily. Now Edwards on his back, and Vanderford dives right into the guard.
He's now with the positioning of it. Vanderford can use ground and pound here and not worry about him just using that cage to get himself up.
He's gonna give
Open half guard
Just be patient.
by Edwards.
I'll slide him up to the triangle. No hooks.
Off balance, Fabs, yeah?
Lock the triangle. Lock the
Off balance, you need
triangle.
to get your frames inside.
There you go. Now heavy hips.
Off balance and get them on.
Heavy hips.
This is the position that we talk about with Vanderford, where he's very heavy on top.
1 minute.
A lot of guys are not real heavy with their hips. Good job by Fabian Edwards to get those hips up in the air, but you see Austin coming right back down, controlling position, getting heavy again.
And yet Edwards on his back trying to make life miserable for Edwards, just grinding away at his face with those elbows. 45 seconds left in the second round, and it continues to be Vanderford putting pressure from top position.
That is a lot of pressure. It doesn't look like anything when you're not in that position, but trust me, right now there's a ton of pressure that is coming down on Fabian Edwards.
30 seconds.
Nice. There you go.
And Vanderford wanting to jump into side control, but now in the loose half guard of Edwards. Edwards wanting to activate his hips.
A lot of strength in those legs by Fabian Edwards to get that weight up.
Another elbow from his back delivered by Fabian Edwards, but it is Vanderford who ends the round in top position.
Time. Easy up. Good job.
While we are watching this important matchup between top 10 ranked middleweights, coming up, former bantamweight champion Darion Caldwell, after participating in the featherweight World Grand Prix where he made it to the semifinals, returns to the division that he once controlled to take on Leandro Ego for the second time. Back when Caldwell was champion in his lone title defense, he submitted Ego. Ego returns to the rematch with a lot more momentum.
A lot more momentum. A couple of wins under his belt, feeling good, but he didn't make weight.
And that's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
I need it.
And wait for him to come in, overcommit.
You can't rest as soon as he's onto the legs or as soon as he's in that position, because it's getting harder for you to get back up straight away, bro.
Just to put a
Straight away,
button on
off
that, he's
balance
had issues making weight at 135.
Might be time to move up. Get a nutritionist.
All right. You got third round. Third round.
Third and final
All right, here
round.
we go. Last round. Last round. Ready? Let's go.
Toughest test for both Austin Vanderford and Fabian Edwards. On your unofficial scorecard, Big John, how do you have this matchup
Especially
scored?
right now, I've got Vanderford up, but it could have been that Edwards got that first round, but no doubt the second round went to Vanderford. We'll see what happens in this round. This could be the round that determines the fight.
I love when you say no doubt, knowing that there are 3 judges seated around. 30 seconds gone here in the final round. You're an optimist, I get it. There's beautiful blinding with the right into the takedown by Vanderford. Beautiful entry.
Just beautiful technique. You saw him launch that hand up high, brings the hand right beneath the leg, drives forward, brings it straight to the ground. That was a smart, efficient takedown with little energy used by Austin.
And this is where, again, Fabian Edwards
Don't give up on the hook.
giving Austin Vanderford bulletin board material saying, yeah, but nobody's even tried to get up when you take him down. Well, again, very much easier said than done against a guy whose wrestling pedigree is very impressive.
It's so easy to watch someone say, I can move that guy around. Then you feel his pressure. But I'll give it to Fabian Edwards. He's had moments where he has elevated Austin up in the air off of him based upon a lot of strength.
But this is it now. With 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in the fight, you need to do whatever it takes to try to force a stand-up or a reversal, because time is running out, and this is where Austin Vanderford is comfortable being all day and all night.
Exactly what you just saw. He needs to explode. He needs to turn his hips out, start to move his hips, just like you see right there. That was a great job by Fabian Edwards, and you saw Austin Vanderford just move with it. He flowed right with it, right back into a half guard position.
Beautiful sequence. High-level mixed martial arts with Austin Vanderford looking to move to 11-0. 5-0 here in Bellator MMA, and Fabian Edwards fighting for the first time on American soil. Would love to bounce back after taking an L his last time out.
Fabian Edwards has that butterfly hook with his left leg. He needs to take that, start to elevate that leg, and then he needs to, again, explode those hips out to try to move Austin Vanderford off of him with that weight, so he can gain some space and get himself out.
Yeah, Vanderford was looking to neutralize Edwards' left arm with his knee momentarily, maybe trying to move to a crucifix position, but still content just to be on top and continue to put the pressure on Fabian Edwards.
Well, he looked for that arm triangle for a moment. Edwards saw it, felt it right away, and said, no, that ain't going to happen. You see him controlling that left hand with both of his hands.
And Edwards has to try to explode again. Instead, it's an explosive attack from Vanderford, going for that arm triangle attempt again, and Vanderford has 3 submission victories on his resume.
Really nice positioning of his head by Austin, putting that head right into that neck and chin area to push Fabian Edwards back flat down onto the canvas.
And in fact, it was in Vanderford's Bellator MMA debut at Bellator 215 in February of 2019 that he submitted Cody Jones via arm triangle choke.
90 seconds. Get your frames on the inside. Get that left arm on the inside. Left arm on the inside, Fab. Push on his head.
See, right now, you see that left arm over the top of Austin's head. That is not where it needs to be. If Fabian wants to get out of this position, he needs to get that far side underhook. That left arm needs to get underhooked on the right arm of Austin Vanderford. That way he can utilize it to get up. If his arm is in the position it is around the head, he's not going anywhere.
Short elbows are fine.
Austin Vanderford following the game plan to a T.
There you go, sweet.
Working with the likes of another decorated wrestler and such a keen mind for combat sports, King Mo, who following his MMA career now coach an American top team. 40 seconds left on the clock, ground and pound from Vanderford. Elbow by Vanderford.
Beautiful elbow by Vanderford. You're so right about King Mo. He is, soon people are going to understand what kind of coach King Mo is. He is a brilliant strategist when it comes to fighting.
And he knows his boxing as well. Big fan of the sweet science. And I'm sure he's a fan of what Austin Vanderford is doing here, as it's become a bloodletting with these elbow strikes, John.
Crimson battle, as you would say.
Yes, as the late great pro wrestling announcer Gordon Soley would say, they're sporting crimson masks as we go to the judges' scorecard.
Stop. Okay, good job, man.
Wow, what a gash.
Let me get you off real quick. You got some pretty good cut.
A nasty cut on the forehead, John, and again, elbows aplenty both from the top and bottom.
You're going to see the elbow that cut him. Take a look right there. Beautiful slicing elbow. That's the one that cut Austin Vanderford for you. See the blood right away.
It slices, it dices.
It does it all.
Well, sharper than a Ginsu for sure, that elbow strike. And yet after 15 minutes, John, with so much at stake again, 2 hungry, young, top 10 ranked competitors willing to put it on the line in order to prove to themselves just how good they are. How do you have it after 3?
After 3 rounds, I have Austin Vanderford winning this fight.
Because of stuff like this.
Because of the takedowns, the control, a lot of strikes on the ground. Not that Fabian Edwards didn't have his moments, but when it got into the later parts of the second round and into the third round, Fabian Edwards was unable to get himself up like you just saw right there. And it was Austin Vanderford that was able to utilize his wrestling, his ground and pound, just to do damage, just like you're seeing right here. That's the big difference in the fight. Nice attack right there. Beautiful elbow by Fabian Edwards. It just wasn't enough to do enough damage to stop what Austin was doing.
A bloody night at the office for Austin Vanderford, but was it a successful night? Will he walk out of the Bellator MMA cage still unbeaten? Fabian Edwards, in his first fight here in America, will he return to his native Birmingham, England, a winner? Let's find out. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. Doug Crosby, Dave Turelli, Jacob Montalvo. All three seated exactly the same at 30-27. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision. The gentleman, Mr. Van Zandt, Austin Vanderford.
Huge victory for Austin Vanderford as he remains undefeated. Improves to 5-0 here in Bellator MMA. Currently ranked at number 3, and you know he will be watching with vested interest when Douglas Lima